Now
What was
recording.
the name of that? What was the name of that sleeper you're talking about? AMI? You said AMI?
ARI.
ARI. So is that like that you were saying? Yes. So a sleeper that big, because like it's basically.
Oh,
an
it's like a
RV.
300 and something inch wheelbase. It's those are used by usually team or like husband and wife team or single guys that don't have a house that want a house on wheels, that do like very specialized stuff.
Well, and don't want to deal with the laundry at the truck stop because.
Yeah, I've definitely had some of those.
Yeah.
But no, well, not only that, but like you have a full kitchen. You have one of those glass top stove tops. You got, your whole setup in there. So you can, because they're wow, I'm really stuttering through this today. They're custom critical usually for like airplane parts. So they sit
while you collect yourself. Let me welcome everything.
Oh, yes.
Welcome again to another episode of Drake and the Maestro. Let me say that again. Welcome again to another episode of Drake and the Maestro, almost relevant and almost out in an RV camping.
Too early for Flapjacks?
Almost. Yeah, I'm just one bathroom shy of an RV.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, but they do like custom critical stuff for usually airline industry. So they'll sit at an airport on the tarmac next to the hangar waiting for the part, and then they'll get the part and it's go. And then they'll get to the next airport and then they'll wait for the part to be unloaded or whatever. So they can park there and they've got food, and they've got a bathroom, they've got shower, and they can do their laundry, and they've got a place to relax, and they can just hang out in the truck and they don't have to worry about going anywhere, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, we did custom critical with stuff like that, but we didn't have that luxurious of a sleeper.
No, that's super luxurious. And those trucks are not cheap. They cost about as much as a house nowadays. They're $500,000,
well, maybe
$750,000, depending.
Maybe I should have bought one like that instead of buying a house, and then maybe I wouldn't have got divorced. But who knows?
Well, I mean, it does qualify as a multi-family dwelling in New York, so
Well, yeah, if you can keep the wheels on it,
Well, once it's where you want it, do you really need the wheels anymore?
Well, yeah,
they can't give you a parking ticket if it doesn't have wheels on it.
New York, they'll find a way, just like Shatner doing spoken word of a rap song. He found
a way, or Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Life finds a way.
It does. Yeah. No, that's pretty incredible. I've seen those on the road. It's like the sleepers.
I have too. They're rare, but they're very cool.
It's half as long as the trailer you're pulling. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, some of them are equally as long. So some of those are 40, almost 35, almost 40 feet long, and then the trailer's a 48-foot trailer. So the truck and trailer are basically the same length.
Well, and you're not putting that on a dock in the inner city, that's for sure.
No. We do have some of those here. They're not quite that big. They're 300-inch wheelbase. I think there's one guy that's got a 320 that, he can only go certain places because, he won't go on the East Coast because he physically can't.
No, those roads, I mean, some places on the East Coast, they'll tell you can't, your length has to be whatever, or you're not making it out alive. Or
pretty
something.
much. Well, you're just not gonna make it at the turns.
No, it's not happening. We were maxed out on the wheelbase we could have. Was it? We couldn't wheelbase and vehicle length. We couldn't make it if it was any longer, a foot longer. And there's a lot of places in New York and East Coast we couldn't have gone.
Yeah.
So, what are you gonna do?
Oh, well, look at me.
Hang on.
No, geez, the old man voice is back, folks.
Well, it never left. I'm pressing the cough button. That's what that is.
There's one of those sitting. It's a purple one. It's Peterbilt. It's an owner operator, has a big sleeper Peter Longnose Pete sitting at our terminal, and it's been sitting for about 2 years now.
Just sitting?
Yeah, the owner got very sick and hasn't been able to come and get it or do anything with it, so it's just sitting at our terminal.
Wow.
But he's been there. He's been here forever. So they're kind of like, yeah, whatever,
Is it like Billy Joel in that one Anthony song? At least he can't drive with a broken back, but at least he can polish the fenders?
I don't know what's going on with that particular
completely
driver.
Different.
It's the same, but completely different.
Got it. Got a computer story for you.
Oh.
The origins of our service from way back, the old legacy days. And this was when having a computer in your office for a small business was a big deal, and having a network system of computers that was almost unheard of, unless you're working for like a big enterprise. But this is like a small insurance company, downtown suburb, right?
Yeah.
One computer. They finally branched out to having several, like each agent had a computer, and we networked them together. And this was when I was learning how to do networking. I mean, it was all this was all when it was like the wide open, what do they call it? Not the wide open West. Come on, help me out here.
The Wild West?
That was the Wild West, the computer service industry, and roving bands of roving IT men strolling majestically across the suburban landscape.
Free range IT men.
That's right. Our company was one of the first. We were one of the first of the free range IT men that you could hire to come in and solve your computer needs.
Yes.
Of course, back when everything on the interwebs was just AOL and a phone modem. Like, I guess some of these kids don't even know what that is. It makes a screeching noise. What is it? Yeah. That's the sound
that's the sound of history, folks.
That's right. It's like 45 minutes just to look at one article on a web page because it's got too many pictures for you to download. Back when web pages were written for alternative photos, because in case you didn't want to download the pictures because your modem wasn't slow enough or fast enough. It was slow enough. It wasn't fast enough. Yeah.
It definitely was slow enough. I don't know if it was fast enough, but it was definitely slow enough.
So it started the company. This is what really gave me the idea that, there might be something in this roaming IT man thing. I got sent out to a customer, and it was basically because I was hanging out with a friend who had a computer store and just like doing repairs and stuff out of the back just for giggles, right?
Yeah.
And
yes,
I got sent. It's like, hey, you want to go work? Because everybody would bring their computers into the shop to get them repaired. Going to where the computer is completely unheard of. But you want to. And the person that ran the shop he was a little cantankerous. So you want to go work on some computer? They don't want to bring it in. You want to go work on them? Yeah, sure, I'll go work on it. I don't care. So I went out and worked on, and this is where I discovered the most important thing about computer maintenance, repair, or just diagnostics in general. Right? They're having trouble. It's their insurance program. It has all the tables and all that in it for the different types of insurances and all the rate charges and fees and schedules and all that kind of stuff. And that's all in the computer. So they don't have to look up in a big book, or they don't have to call somebody. I mean, groundbreaking.
The big book of tables.
The big book of tables that's now like 100 gigs. This was 10 megs back then, fit on a floppy disk. 1.44 megs.
We're not gonna talk about how data has slowly ballooned in size over time and the differences between what it used to be and what it is now.
Well, yeah, it was like 1 gig. Now it's like, that's a throwaway amount of data. A gig. That long ago. Right. A gig. Not that long ago. I remember doing a Unix server, and it had a gig's worth of hard drive storage. And it was like, a gig. Oh, we'll never outgrow that.
I remember 512 megabyte USB sticks, and that was a lot.
Well, right. Yeah. Weren't the original... now I really got to stretch my memory. Weren't the original floppies, the big 5.5 ones that were floppy? Those were like less than a meg, I thought. To get more storage, you had to go to the 3.5 in the hard case. Those were 1.44. I think the other ones were like 512 kilobytes, half a meg.
They were small. It was a ridiculously small amount of data.
Yeah. I still have a game in the wrapper with floppy disks. It's all DOS prompts and everything. That's cool.
Yeah. I remember
got a couple of them, but one's still in the... It's like Larry from Outer Space or something like that. It's actually was a pretty popular game way back. Which is funny, we're talking about that because I'm wearing my old school gamer T-shirt that's got just a command prompt, because that's the way it was and we liked it.
Yeah, I remember the games that you would play the game and it would be like go to disc 2, insert disc 5.
Right. Well, I think you're about the right.
And if you went in a different direction in the game, you might have to reinsert an earlier disc.
Right. Especially if you didn't have the RAM or the hard drive space to download
them all.
Subsequent. Yeah. because some of the disks you could preload into your hard drive space, and then you didn't have to swap, or you could have the super gaming computer that had 2 disks, two drives.
You could switch between them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, those were the days. So I'm going out there, and first things first, I'm checking over the networking, and the network is a little dodgy. So I punched that up. It's kind of where I learned how to make networking cables, kind of on the fly, on the job, just like that. And I go, what kind of problems are you having with? Well, we didn't want to bring the computers into the store because they never have any trouble when they're in the shop. They only have trouble when they're here in the building, right? Like, oh well, let's figure out what's going on here. And I'm checking them, and they're plugged into like power strips, not surge strips, power strips. And of course,
yes.
I kind of know that you want to. Back then, it was like you got to get a good surge strip for your computer. So I put that on the checklist. Good surge strip or power protection. I'm looking at the computer. Everything's working fine. They're all running fine. I'm like, well, can you demonstrate the problem? It's like, no, they seem to be doing okay. And right about there, I hear the train horn because they're right across the railroad tracks in a building that's 100 years old on the 2nd floor. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't realize you guys are this close to the train station. And it says, yeah, they go through here all the time. Like, yeah, they kind of do. Well, here comes a fast freight. Cool. Yeah. So I go look out the window because I can look from the 2nd floor. Kind of, typical computer nerd. I like trains. Okay.
Yes.
Turns out it was the perfect thing because the trains goes flying by, and it was like a scene from the Blues Brothers. Remember when they're at Elwood's little apartment at the
how close? How often does that
SRO?
happen? So often you won't even notice.
Right. The building's shaking, the lights are flickering. Well, here's this multiple-headed big, like SD80 lash up a big old coal train running. There's a Doobie Brothers song in there somewhere, going like 70 miles an hour, thundering through town, and the building is shaking, and the lights are flashing, and the computers are going 404. I'm like, oh, there's your problem. It's like, does this happen when trains come through town? And the guy's like, come to think of it, well, I've got to tell you, the surge protectors aren't going to cut it here. We need to get you an uninterruptible power supply for each computer. It's like, what's that? Well, when the power supply detects power issues, it switches over to battery for it.
Yeah.
And
which is what you need.
When I went to the computer nerd store, not only where you can buy computer nerds, but you can buy computer products. I was talking to the guy there, again, fresh in the industry, just a fresh-faced IT man roaming the countryside. He's like, well, what you really want to get is a TrueSign UPS that's always running the battery. So all the power is doing from the wall is charging the battery, and then the battery is using a TrueSign inverter to produce clean power. So that's kind of like the battery's acting like a filter to completely disconnect and filter it from the wall. Like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. And as it turns out, as I did work in that building doing networking, yeah, it was a good idea, because up in the attic, because I was running cables up in the attic, they still had some knob and tube up there. Like, oh, this place is going to burn down.
And it won't be my fault.
Oh, and that's when I learned about the IT man. If you're running your own cabling and all that, you're going to need some tools. So when I had to go through masonry, had to go buy the big Hilti masonry hammer drill, and 2 foot long, Three Stooges.
That thing was the daddy of hammer drills.
Well, I thought so until I went to put some flue pipe in, some 4-inch double wall flue vent.
Okay, building. That thing's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the one that we borrowed from them. That thing's
that Bosch with like a 1/2-inch chuck on it. I'm like, holy crap! It's a jackhammer. It's just an electric jackhammer that happens to turn the bit.
Happens to spin.
Yeah, that's all it is. In fact, I was looking at it, and that Bosch had a jackhammer mode. You could switch it over, and it'd just be a jackhammer. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The Hilti was pretty good, though. That thing would, Well,
I've still got it, and every task I give it, it just blasts right through. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, because I was trying I was trying to get through that old masonry, that old building. To just all I want is a 3/8 inch hole so I can run the cable from here to here. I'm using a Sears hammer, little plug-in Craftsman. It's their hammer drill, and the masonry is just laughing at it. It's like, we got a real drill. So I had to go talk to the tool man. It's like, no, you want this. And I'm looking at him like, yes, I do. So good, proper tools, always a wise investment, or at least rent them, nothing else. That's a tip to our contractors out there, besides just showing up. Have the right tools. Oh my goodness.
Well, that is important.
So let's
you
solve
do want
the
to have
problem.
your contractor have the right tools.
I got that all worked out, and then that solved the problem. And the next train, after I got the UPSs put in and all that, and another train comes by, and the lights are flashing and all that. Computers just humming along, the monitors are running. The employees are like, "This is great." The computers used to shut off every time a train came through. Like, yeah, that is why I realized being a roving, free-range IT man was the way to go especially for the small business and small and individual residential customers, because you bring it into the shop just like your car, right? You bring it in the shop, it doesn't do it while it's there.
No, it never does it when the mechanic's nearby.
No, never, ever. So it needs to be in its natural environment to be observed, free and unabated, to do what it's doing and be observed, and then say, "Oh, there's your problem."
Yeah,
which is how the phrase "Oh, there's your problem" evolves. So that's how we started. That's when I realized, you know what, there's a market for this. And 30 years later, I'm doing a podcast talking about it and retired. So, hooray!
I guess you did something right, maybe, possibly. You know what? The jury's still out on that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just figured I'd live on in Grandma and Grandpa. I just figured I'd live on in Grandma and Grandpa's legacy.
Yeah, my mother and father. Oh my goodness. Here I'm paying for them to move into their new condo, right? Because let's face it, I owe them for all the crap I put them through. I know my father still didn't quite get over the fact his brand new car, I introduced it to a tree. Oh.
Somebody had to.
I was talking to my wife about that, and she takes it all in like, yeah, I can see that. Yep. Yeah, that tracks. And what was cool? That was a Ford Fairmont. I know everybody out there rolling their eyes. Fairmont. Now wait a minute. The Fairmont was part of the Fox platform. It was a 4-door Mustang for all intents and purposes. And my mother can't drive anything but a stick shift. An automatic just confuses her. So every car that my father ordered had to have a stick. And the last car they had was a Corolla, which had an automatic, and then that's when she stopped driving because.
Yeah, well, no, she stopped driving with the Malibu.
That's right, because that had an automatic too, didn't it? Yeah,
it had an automatic too. His grandpa was having a harder and harder time finding normal cars for a reasonable price that had a manual transmission.
Right, and I kept telling him he should buy the Viper, but he didn't seem to go with that. He would just tell me, "I'm more interested in 0 to empty than 0 to 60." Okay, at least some things haven't changed.
Well,
what. So what was I going? I derailed myself.
Yes,
Great.
you did. Yes, you did. We were talking about how I'm living on with Grandma and Grandpa's legacy.
Right. Well, there was a fair, and because my mom could only drive a stick, the only way my father could get a stick in that model car, because he wanted a larger 4-door car, because the kid, his children were growing up and becoming regular people sized, and stuff in the back of a Pinto wasn't working so well. Not to mention the Pinto came pre-rusted from the factory for his convenience. We repaired the rust on it, and of course, in true don't know what we're doing fashion, and then repainted the car. And in 6 months, the rust that was attached, the repairs that was attached to the rust that was hidden, all the repairs fell off. It's like, you know what? He's like, threw up his hands like, forget it. I'm buying a new car. This one's too small for the family anyway. So he goes and orders this car, because not a single Fairmont on the lot had a stick. So he orders the only package that gave him a stick, apparently, at least according to the dealer man. And it comes, and it's basically Ford's version of the Eurosport, right? It's a police interceptor. It's got
it's a heavy use.
Yeah, it's a heavy use with a 5-speed.
Yeah,
it had
he ordered a car package.
Rear louvers on the back windows, right? Like the Mustang, like the fast. like the fastback Mustangs used to have. They used to have those louvers on the back side windows, not on the rear windshield, but on the side back windows.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it had, just like the old fastbacks, it had a little vent lever. You could pull it open and close. There's a vent in there, which isn't in the regular car, obviously. It's all blacked out chrome. It's got a blacked out, I forget the name of the piece between the taillights. What is that? The rear. Anyway.
Valence, maybe?
Yeah, it's above the valence.
You're above the valence. Move on.
It's the taillight, just a blacked out taillight panel, blacked out grill, right? It's got the big police tires on it, tires and wheels, and like it's in the color he ordered and all that. And it's got a like a Gantt sport steering wheel, like only better than the Gantt. It's a Ford, it's got the drilled holes in the spokes, right, with a leather wrap and engine turning dash. So it's got full gauges and engine turning instead of the it's like flat. It's like a flat. Or it could be rounded. It's like aluminum. And then they use like a little polishing wheel and then make little circles on it that stack like fish scales.
It's got a turned dash.
Yeah, turned. Yeah, sorry. And a 5-speed.
Turning dash.
Well, okay, what can I say? And of course, here I am 16. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And my father looks at it and is like, where's my car? He's like, this is your car. This is the package that allowed you to.
This is what you ordered, sir.
This is right. It's like, oh, okay. And then then the salesman looks at me and says, I wish my wife would let me order a car like that. It's great. And everything.
And ruined it.
I did. I took it out. I'm like, that thing, it was like driving a Mustang, only it wasn't a Mustang. And unfortunately, it had the grip of a Mustang on slippery roads. And that's how the B pillar on the passenger side got pushed in by a tree.
That's how.
Stupid.
Yes.
That's how. Yes. Yes.
It wasn't you driving it in a reckless manner and on weather that it shouldn't probably be driven in.
I'll only admit that now. No, it's absolutely right. I had no business doing what I was doing. Stupid teenagers. That's why when your cousins got to the driving age, I told their mother that, no, we're not getting them new cars. We're going to get each one of them a car they can total, and then we'll look at a more permanent vehicle. And so both of them ended up hitting school buses. I don't know what that is. It runs in the family, apparently. Uncle Drake, guess what happened? You had a school bus?
Totaled my car.
How did you know?
Well,
I did my best.
The school bus shaped dent in the front of your car kind of gave it away.
Well, the car, it was a Corolla, and all the school bus did is just peel the hood back. Remember that? It just accordion the hood. It was still drivable. The car is still drivable. It's just
it was fine.
Yeah. So my nephew learned from his sister, and he did it better. He took that Volvo of his and just pounded that school bus.
Yeah, he showed that school bus who's boss.
So don't buy a turbocharged car for your 16-year-old there.
Well, to be fair to him, it wasn't exactly a high horsepower car. It's just he was an idiot, and continues to be so sometimes.
Yes,
because because that was what that accident was karmic justice for the years he made fun of his sister for doing the exact same thing.
Right.
Because it happened in a very similar situation where he was leaving school, the bus stopped abruptly, and he rear-ended the bus. And and his sister had done the same thing. She was leaving school, the bus stopped abruptly, she rear-ended the bus.
Right, and she wasn't expecting it to stop.
He mocked her mercilessly for years after that happened. Because they're what, like 5 or 6 years apart, I think?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there's a few years between them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gingivitis getting you too, huh?
Apparently. Wow, it's the first time I've had to really talk for a little bit. And then he did the same thing. And then I mocked him mercilessly as revenge.
Yes, as we do. Because,
as you should.
Yeah. And he's a fine sailor now, so.
Yes. I mean, with all that
it all works out. It all works out. Just like me, except my parents, who I guess I don't think my father really got over it.
We should probably bring this back around with how we started this.
Correct. So I put and so that was the end. My father basically, and I've said it before, my father, he just looked at me and goes, well, I guess that covers borrowing the car. And
yeah, and you were never allowed to borrow the family car ever again.
Ever.
I got to drive Grandpa's Corolla before you did.
I never did, ever.
Still have it.
In fact, we still have it. My wife drives it, and I still have yet to be behind the driver's wheel. And my father, unfortunately, is gone. I miss him. His car is still here, and for whatever reason, I still cannot drive the car. I think it's my own. He's in my head now. I'm just, you know what?
He's speaking to you from beyond. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, just at this point, it's just out of respect. You know what? No, I could go there. No.
But no.
Apparently I haven't learned my lesson yet, and
you learned your lesson? Never.
I'm okay with it. I just, so what would here I am moving my parents out of their home of, 40, 50 years. Let me think about that. 50 years, and moving them into their condo for their latent retirement.
Yes.
And paying for the move and all that, which is what I should do, because messing with my kids. I caused so much damage to them when I was a young man. The least I can do is pay for that. But the funny part is, I'm taking care of all that. I've got their move handled. Basically, I tried to make the whole procedure as turnkey as possible, dealing with the realtors. In this case, the home was being built, dealing with the builder. Just running everything, keeping it all on track, so they didn't have to deal with it.
Right.
And I'm over there. They're going through their things that are, the movers have dropped them off. They're going through the things. I'm kind of helping with that a little bit. My sister lives next door, and she's helping them. And we're getting this and that together. And I'm in my 60s. I'm retired, and they say, well, we still pray that someday you'll get your life together. Together? If it ain't together by now. I think they mean college. I think they mean college.
Who knows?
But I have my education. I went and I did that.
Yeah, the School of Hard Knocks.
Well, and I did it on my time. I took a computer science. I took an entire computer science curriculum in under a year.
Thanks. What was his name? Sammy Davis Jr.
That's right.
I did it my way.
That's Sinatra, I think.
Well, Sammy Davis Jr. did it too. He did his own version.
Well, it's all Rat Pack,
Yeah, they were all friends.
I mean, I got my industry certifications. I've got patent. I've got all kinds of stuff.
But someday you'll get your life together. Don't worry.
Someday, someday I will. I don't know. I'm not so sure about that, but we'll see. And on that disappointment,
based on what I've seen,
right? You're not sure either. I understand.
No.
But based on that disappointment, it's time to go. Tune in next time when the maestro says,
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
If you need to reach out to us, you can reach us at DrakeAndMaestro@outlook.com. Hey, I got it right. DrakeAndMaestro@outlook.com.
It would have been cooler if you hadn't drawn attention to it.
Oh, I had to, because I don't have my life together yet.
Right.
You can always leave a comment at the venue of your choice, and we'll see you next time. Adios.
Adios.
Arrivederci. Hasta la vista.
Adios.
Adios, muchachos, caballeros de la vida. You get out of here.
Yeah, that was like,
boy.
Actually kind of hurt my feelings just a little bit. I'm helping my mom unpack and all that. And she's like, well, what are you planning on doing?
Get your life together.
Right. That's like, oh, come on.
Oh, come on, man. It kind of hurts a little bit.
What kind of, yeah, I mean, I understood. A number of years ago, I get it. But now, kind of,
Hey.
I mean, I'm not still calling for bail money, so that's positive. Oh,
hey, at least I never had to call you for bail money.
Well, you wouldn't have got it anyway.
I know, but at least you never had to get called for it.
I never called my parents for it either. I was like, nope, I'm not. I've already brought enough shame on the family name. I'm not going that low. There's no way. There's no way
Grandpa would have given you bail money. There's no way.
Oh, well, yeah. I called my roommates. They helped me out, and I pretty much had bail money, with me. So one would say I'm was prepared for it because it was probably inevitable. If you talk to any of my roommates, they would have said, yep, that's right. So, yeah, I'm going to box in with the computer here. Okay, here we go.